Greetings, I'm Herbert Erpaderp, and today we're going to uncover the mystery of what's in this box. You may or may not know this already, but the squiggles across the top of the box are not just decorative, some people are able to decipher them and turn them into mouth words. It is suggested that this enormous box contains a Takom 35th scale OI 150 ton super heavy tank. But what does that mean? It means there are bits of plastic, and there are a lot of large pieces in here, though the box is probably slightly bigger than it really needs to be. It does make the kit look more impressive on the shelf though, I suppose. For some people that might be important. Here's the lower hull tub. I do like it when these are tubs, especially for larger hulls. Not so much that it's fewer parts to build, though it is, just that it leads to a more straight and neat hull. It makes everything else down the line a bit neater too. As you can see, this part is rather large. The whole top is another nice big chunk of plastic. I don't think you need me to tell you, you've probably got your own eyes, but I'm going to say, at least once, that the detail here is quite nice. Preserved examples of the OI don't exist, so it is kind of hard to compare with the real thing, but plans do supposedly exist, so I'm sure Takom have done their research. I'm not the rivet countery type, and if I was, I would really enjoy these side parts. While I do enjoy things that are historically accurate, for me, it's not the be-all end-all, as long as things are well made and look good. In the case of model kits, which this obviously is, the quality of the moulding is usually a bit more important, at least in my opinion. I mean, you can be extremely historically accurate with your detailing, but if it's poorly made and looks bad, there's not much of a point, is there? I'm sure that's all really stating the obvious, and I'm kind of getting into waffling territory, which is deceptively named. There are no waffles there. What I'm getting at is Takom have done a really nice job, as, in my experience, they always do in producing a nice, crisply moulded kit that shows the detail very well. Even this crew figure is so nice, I'm kind of tempted to assemble him. It could be interesting to show the sheer size of the OI. Now we are getting to some of the smaller parts. Smaller is relative. Surprising maybe one or two people, most things on the OI are going to be large. You'll be surprised to learn that I'm not actually an expert on the OI, so I don't really know a lot about these parts and what they represent. Therefore, I don't really have a lot to say about them, other than they look good and are neatly made. Important things, but they don't necessarily need to be repeated over and over. These videos are really more for you to look at the sprues and form your own opinions anyway. Ah, wheels. These look really good. Still making that joke, eh? Hey, that's a good solid joke. It still has plenty of life in it. These all look nice and are huge chonkers. Even the return rollers are large. Though if you look closely, there's a couple of handles. These might be the smallest parts in this kit. They are fairly fine and probably quite easily broken. I haven't built the kit yet, but I feel pretty confident that all of these parts are going to go together with no hassle. And if they do give me any guff, ooh boy, will I complain about it on the internet. One thing that might be a little bit of a challenge are these tracks. There are 3 sprues worth of individual links here. Without really having looked at the instructions or started building the kit, I suspect these are going to take most of the time and work in this build. That's not a complaint, not even an observation yet. It's just a guess. Whether they're good or not, I'm obviously yet to find out. One thing I will say, if the tracks are annoying, you could probably get away without assembling all of them. When the side plates are on, most of the upper run of tracks isn't going to be visible, so you could easily only build and install tracks for the areas where they'd be visible. That would probably save quite a bit of time, at the least. Anyway, here's the D sprue, which has turret parts. This mostly looks to be the large main turret and some parts for the rear turret. You can see a lot of these little hatches are moulded into the turret sides. This means you probably can't model them open. The box does say that all hatches are openable, but perhaps they only mean those the crew would climb through. It's not really a complaint, and they do look quite nice. Also, there's no interior, so you don't really need to look inside anyway. Here's the rest of the turret parts. Looks like there's also some suspension doodadery here too. A lot of smaller parts here, including more of those handrails. Again, the parts are nice and well made. Looking at them, I'm not expecting too much of a fight when it comes time to glue them together. In fact, I do expect it to be quite fun. You can see here that the kit includes plastic guns. I don't think they would be bad, But obviously, the included metal guns, seen here, will be most people's first choice, myself included. They simply look better and require much less work than the multi-part plastic barrels do. I'm not entirely sure if the metal barrels are a special edition component or something like that. The box has no mention of anything like that. It is nice that there is a plastic alternative part. I'm sure the Bits box approves. Can't forget about these clear plastic parts. They are nice and clear, which I understand is quite important for things like headlamp lenses and stuff like that. Very good. These decals are included, and the box tells us there are 4 sets of markings here. These do seem to be of decent quality, though obviously I've not used them yet, so I can't be sure. Instructions are, of course, included, and it is nice that we won't have to just guess at where the parts go. These look to be fairly well laid out. I've not studied them in depth or anything like that, but everything seems clear, and I'm not anticipating any problems. If there are problems, I will complain about them in the build stream. I will also mention them in the build video when that eventually eventuates. The 4 painting and marking guides are found toward the back of the instructions, along with some pictures of some of Takom's other kits. I'm looking forward to starting this build. I did contemplate doing a whole very funny and original OI October thing, and it probably still is October when this is uploaded, and I might even start the build in October, but maybe not. If you're interested in watching me build this live on stream, keep an eye out on Discord and or Twitch for notifications. Links for those sort of things can be found in the description below. I think this is going to be fun, so I do want to start it soon, though I do have to finish other things first. That's just how it works. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to put them in the comments section below. That's where they go. Subscribe here if you want to see more of this kind of thing. Share the video with anybody you think might find it helpful, and if you really like what I do and you want to see videos a bit early, consider supporting on Patreon or Ko-fi. Take care of yourselves, be excellent to each other, and thanks for watching. Farewell.